Hey, it's Emma here. Just wanted to let you know what the team are hoping for in the race.
The atmosphere is heavy with expectation and anticipation, and bearing the weight of that burden today is a place we know very well indeed. It's Albert Park. The story of the season begins here then with the Australian Grand Prix, and it's time for the first chapter to be written. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, a former F1 competitor, a man who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction, I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
Okay, you've qualified higher than we expected, so let's try to build on this position throughout the race.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Nico Rosberg is on pole position today after coming out on top of a difficult qualifying. And P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel and Massa, Raikkonen, Button, Bottas and Fernando Alonso, Kvyat, Perez, Nico Hülkenberg and Grosjean, Sainz, Gutierrez, Amana and Jolyon Palmer, Magnussen and Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Clutch in, hold until lights out.
The drag reduction system, or DRS, opens a flap on the rear wing to reduce drag and improve the straight-line speed of the car. Drivers are able to use this system in specific DRS zones as long as the circuit is dry. There are no additional restrictions to DRS use in practice and qualifying. However, in a race, the system can only be used when the driver is 1 second or less behind another. Watch the bar at the bottom of your multi-function display as you approach the DRS zone to see your distance to the activation point, and activate it by pressing the DRS button when the prompt appears.
speed limit as you approach. Make sure you keep speed.
There's a huge amount of time to be won and lost in the pits, but ensure that you don't get too greedy as you approach the pit lane speed limit line. On the approach, you'll see a notification of the pit lane speed limit and your distance to the limit line. If you cross this threshold too fast, you'll be given a speeding penalty, so be careful. There are valuable tenths to be won by getting it right though, so leave your braking as late as you dare. At the pit exit, it's important not to cross onto the racetrack before reaching the end of the white pit exit line.